So today is day 13 of the Nancy Guthrie investigation. What's the latest, and do you still believe she's alive?
Well, the latest is we probably have closer to 40,000 or 50,000 leads versus what, as of Wednesday, I think we were over 30-some thousand. We still get tips. We're still getting leads. Um, I think we're getting closer. As to whether she's alive, absolutely. I believe she is. And the family believes she is. And my team, some 400 officers out there, believe she is.
And so one of the updates from your department includes information about a couple of gloves. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
So I'm not going to get into numbers. What I would tell you is there was some reporting that gloves were found at the scene or on the property. That is not the case at all. Just a couple of days ago, may have been yesterday, I'm sorry, I lost track of days this week. We had someone call us on a black glove that was found about 2 miles from the house. We tell our community, anything, there's no lead too small, call us. If we don't, then they decide that, well, it's not important. They don't call us. Everything's important. So we go out, we collect the glove, and we submit it for DNA. And that stirred quite a frenzy because the sheriff told the FBI no, and that's so far from the truth. That's just not even close. What happens in these cases is, first of all, we've always worked close with the FBI, but for my whole time here, 40 plus years, we had people assigned there right now. Before this case, people worked out of their office from my department. They worked over here. That relationship existed long before this case. And guess what? When this is all over, it will still exist. The Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI will still be here. Their relationship, as with all of our local partners and our state partners, it's not just vital to the Sheriff's Department or to those other agencies. It's vital to my community. We need that relationship to remain healthy. That's the only reason I kind of came out, because I saw those reports and I thought that's damning to the case. It does nothing to solve anything. Look, you can critique the sheriff and throw things at, oh, he's a bad sheriff. All that can happen. That's white noise. That's what we have elections for. This case, the focus is not just mine, not just the families, not the 400 officers out there, this community, find Nancy. And that's our mission. That's where we're headed.
And speaking of DNA, we've heard reports that new evidence has been found at the scene. Can you confirm that? And what does it tell us about the potential suspect?
Well, I'm not sure what new evidence you're speaking to. We submitted all of that evidence for DNA, and it came back, and there's some that we've eliminated, but as maybe it had a reason for being there. If you had your home broken into and we had to go and take DNA samples, naturally we're going to do what? We're going to take your samples, your family members, your friends, maybe a housekeeper, whoever comes in, because we want to be able to say this DNA, this profile belongs to that person. So it's not as interesting as maybe a profile that belongs to a complete stranger. We don't know who this is. So that's what happens with DNA. That morning, all of that evidence on Monday morning, it was secured. I went out that scene around noon. Well, I'm sorry. It called in at noon. I got the call at 2. I went out that evening. I was probably there till about 1 in the morning. My team processing that scene remained there till probably close to 8 o'clock that morning. They came in, they took all their evidence, all of the DNA or biological evidence, submitted it to our lab, and they took the hard evidence that they know. And how do they know this? Because they work with them every day. They knew the FBI has great resources and tools to deal with downloads of phones and dumps and computers and all the cameras, and we gave that to them. That's that morning. That's not like days later we called the FBI. They were there. Why did the FBI go out days later to a scene that, oh, the sheriff shouldn't have released it? That's so that people just don't know. We processed the scene. We removed all the things we believed were of evidential value. FBI went in because they asked, hey, can we go to the house to look at how the cameras are situated, so they can understand what it is they're looking for in that. It had nothing to do with contamination. And look, we process scenes every day. This team I have does an outstanding job. And the proof is really in the pudding. They were probably one of the best teams when it comes to solvency rate, close to 100% on some pretty difficult homicides. I have all full faith and confidence in them. I have the full faith and confidence in the FBI too. And their lab is a great lab. We've used it. It's helped us. It's solved cases for us. But in this case, we started off with our lab because we took that evidence and submitted it to our lab. In fact, a few days later, we did a search warrant in Rio Rico. All of the evidence, except the hard stuff, cameras, that phone, given the FBI, all the DNA stuff sent to our lab. Now we go to, a day or two ago, somebody finds a glove 2 miles away. We're not dismissing it. We pick it up, and the FBI says, we can send it to Quantico and have them, no, don't worry about it. Should go to our lab. Well, how come? The conversation lasts 10 seconds. FBI goes, oh, makes sense. If we send the glove to to Quantico, FBI, and they have it, and they find a marker, a profile, here, we got something, what do they have to do with that? They have to send it back to our lab. So if you've added a step, or our lab has to send all their qualifiers over to them, you've added a step. It just makes sense. Let's stay consistent with what we got, send everything to the same lab. They're good. If the FBI said, Sheriff, your lab kind of messes up this, or they don't know that, or no problem, it's yours. But we had that conversation with the FBI in about 10 seconds, and everybody in the room said, yeah, makes sense, no problem, Sheriff. It wasn't like, oh my goodness, the sheriff stopped this from happening. That's furthest from the truth. Why would I not take free help from one of the best teams in law enforcement? Why would I not do that? It's like all of these local agencies. I'm getting offered help from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, Pima County Attorneys, DPS, all across the state and the nation. I created our Pima Regional Critical Incident Team. I'm all about regionalizing our efforts, using all the resources that are available to us. That's just crazy to sit there and say, the sheriff stopped the evidence going to the lab. It's not how this works. Ransom notes. All those ransom notes, we look at it, sit down and go, you guys are the expert with this, have them. And they do. Serve that search warrant. What SWAT team should we use? Who should write the warrant? Should it be a detective to the state courts? Should it be an FBI agent to the federal? Those things are all discussed, and the sheriff doesn't get involved in all that stuff.
And just to backtrack, just for clarification, so in terms of evidence that the department has obtained, can you confirm that it was a glove or multiple gloves, as well as additional evidence from a potential suspect? And what would that be?
Well, I won't tell you what it is. What I'll tell you is we've submitted a lot of things to the lab to include a lot of gloves. I mean, it's like any crime scene. You start here and you start expanding. And as you expand, you gather more. But we've gone now some places, and again, I don't want to discourage people. I want them to call us. A black glove is found 5-10 miles away. There's a lot of black gloves out there we're finding now. So what's the importance of that glove? We won't know that until we get it, submit it to the lab, and let's see what they say.
Would you be able to speak on the efficiency of processing, or a timeline for when your department and the community will know a little bit more information on what was found?
So there are rules of evidence, there are rules of law that guide us as to what we should or shouldn't release and what we can. But I'll tell you this, right now, just down the hall, we have a command post with detectives, agents, and county attorney, and sometimes U.S. attorney. Just like down the road at the FBI headquarters, has a command room with agents, detectives, U.S. attorney, and sometimes county. All of this stuff goes through legal. We talk to them about things. The video came out. Oh, they've had that video for days. Why did it take so long to give it? We had that video less than an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at the most. And what takes that is we had to scrub some things and make sure it was put out properly, and had to get permissions from Washington. You know, politically, this is not about politics. Whether I agree with the current administration's politics has nothing to do with this case. I respect, though, that the local FBI has a boss, and that boss is in Washington, and that boss gets to call some shots. And we respect that, and we work around that. Just as I have a boss. My boss is this community, and I respect them. But they expect from me to do a good job, a thorough job, follow the law and let that evidence build up to where we make this case.
And given all of that information that you shared in the process, would you be able to give an estimated timeline of when evidence will be shared or when you'll know a little bit more?
So evidence comes in every day, and we share with our partners in law enforcement and the county attorneys and that. We have a discussion, what should be out, what shouldn't. What we look for is that evidence, that piece that will help the community go, hey, I know who that is. We had that video. We hope there's more video. Today, we asked for another ring camera search. We're looking for cars. But I don't know if it's a white van or a white truck or a red car. We're just looking at anybody who has video in that time frame or has an idea they saw a car to call us, to let us know, let us get that, and let us put that together. It's a puzzle. They have a piece of it. We have a piece of it.
Right. I just want to get an estimated timeline of when DNA would be processed. Just your best guess.
So DNA, I can have DNA now. I can tell my lab, I need it now. And it's within 24 hours. Some things we do that with. Rapid DNA. We had rapid DNA tests. And it's not really acceptable in court for identification, but it gives you some idea that as an investigative tool that, hey, this could be something you're looking at. So we do that first with some pieces if there's enough. And we checked here, TPD's lab has a rapid DNA test. DPS has a rapid DNA test. Unfortunately, TPD's was down, and this DPS lab's rapid test was in Phoenix. So we had to drive it to Phoenix, get that. Didn't really come up with much on the rapid DNA test, but everything else went to the lab. The lab, we said, we need this rushed. Certain items you want rushed. A glove that's found 2 miles away, you're probably going to want that faster than a glove that's found 10 miles away, right? So everything is evaluated and looked at in terms of evidence and its value. And could we miss it? Sure we could. Could we guess wrong? Yeah. But we have 400 law enforcement officers who do this for a living, who are very good at it, and they work close together. And I have to allow them to be my experts to tell me, hey, this is a priority. This is a priority. You don't want the sheriff going in there saying, this is a priority. If I knew every lead that was out there, 50,000 of them, oh my goodness, we wouldn't get anything done.
Your critics have said that you've mishandled this investigation and that the FBI should be taking the lead. Why should Pima County Sheriff's Department be the lead investigative agency in this case?
The Pima County Sheriff's Department and the FBI are the lead in this case. It's a we. We, the sheriff, and we, the FBI, share responsibilities and share every report. You have to set your egos aside. There's been a lot of talk about egos. You know, I have young men and women who are very proud to be deputies. I have young men and women who are very proud to be FBI members. Good, that's nice. But we also need them sometimes to put that pride aside and work together. The leadership here in Tucson and in Phoenix with the FBI, the leadership here with the Pima County Sheriff is united strongly for a very important case. And to come out and suggest otherwise without any facts, without any knowledge, is just really crazy. Why would the sheriff ever turn down free service from anybody, much less the FBI? It just makes no sense. No, we work together, we're partners. We did this, the Gabby Giffords case. I was the lead investigator on that. I oversaw that entire investigation with the FBI SAC here. We worked together. Deputy, if there's a deputy and there's a FBI agent and there's someone to interview, they went together. If there's a piece of evidence over there to collect, the deputy and the FBI agent went and collected it. If there's any lead to follow up on, a deputy and an FBI agent, we've done this before. We've done it with large cases. We've done it with small cases. We have 400 officers on this thing right now. We know what we're doing. And it's just, I have critics. That's what you have elections for. Come out of the woodwork and say what a bad sheriff I am. That's good. I don't have time to listen to that white noise. I have to focus on, where is Nancy? That's our mission. But when when media, and not you guys, but when media acts irresponsible and says, sheriff's not getting along and he blocked them from getting, come on, that's harmful. That's harmful to this community. It's harmful to this agency. It's harmful to the FBI and our relationship that we've spent years building. The critics are the critics. I don't pay attention. You know when I pay attention to those critics? When the elections are there. That's a year ago. Move on. Let's go. That election's over. Maybe in 3 years we'll get somebody in there and they can run this place. But for now, it's my job. And you know why it's my job? Because this community elected me to be here to do a job. We're going to do that job.
Could you tell me a little bit about the decision-making process to close the scene where Nancy's house was and then reopen it possibly too soon?
It wasn't closed and reopened. That's the thing that I don't understand, what people don't get. We didn't close the scene.
Well, there was the crime scene tape that came up later on after people...
That's the FBI's doing. They came up to keep people away because for whatever reason, they're gathered. It's like yesterday. They had that tent up, right? I don't know if there was crime scene or not. They put the tent up, right? Why? Because they had work to do. And they don't think it's necessary that the public knows everything they're doing. That's their doing. We went and processed the scene. There was scene tape up. There were people out there guarding the scene. The scene was done. Every piece of evidence we retrieved has been evaluated and sent to labs for follow-up. Did we miss something? I don't think so. And nobody can say we had. Did the FBI go in there and look around for things? Absolutely they did. And whatever they've got, they'll share with us. But we didn't open it up. Oh, now it's contaminated, people walking through there. No. In fact, now people say, well, why is there a deputy there? He's protecting the crime scene. No. We put deputies there because the family asked. They can't be there for a while. They're grieving. Could we watch the house for them? Because they don't want somebody burglarizing it. And we said, absolutely. It was a request of the family, just like the pool today. Oh, there's a pool, there's activity at the pool boy. That was nothing more than a request from the family to say, Sheriff, can we let the pool guy come in and clean the pool? We don't want it to be green and nasty. And sure you can. There's things that go on there all day long. I don't have the time to stop and say, what's this about, or answer these questions. I get calls from the media all the day. They ask me, it's like, it's certainly not my job to validate your source or Sheriff, news agency ABC, or that's probably bad lettering, 123, news agency 123 says this, can you confirm? Why would you call me to confirm it? That's their source. But I have a job to do. We're busy. That last press conference we gave, we told you all, look, when things come up, we're going to get it to you. That video came out. It was to you quickly. And we need you. We need our media to be that conduit to the community to say, hey, what's this, what's that? Yeah, I get it. You've got a tough job, but so do we. And we have to focus on not this white noise. Those people come out of the woodworks every election. Same people, same faces, same voices. Okay, that's their right. But I have to stay focused. Where's Nancy? That's our focus.
Last question. Your department has been able to identify the make and model of the backpack of the suspect. Have you been able to discern any other pieces of clothing that they were wearing?
I don't think anything on the clothing yet. They're working on that. I'll say this. With that backpack, and I'm sorry, I just don't know it, but they identified it. They identified a store for it. I'm sure that is a very key piece that they're working on hard to try to narrow it down. Probably what store? Maybe that store has video of the date it was, who knows? But that's my team. That's the FBI and detectives and everybody out there working on 30, 40, 50,000 leads.
How often are you in communication with the Guthrie family?
You know, they deserve space, right? That's tough. Grieving is tough. They have my number. They text me. Savannah will text me from time to time or call me on something. But you know what? They have a team of people assigned to them, and they're well taken care of. They know if they need me, they got me, but I don't need to bother them.
What is something that you really wish the community understood about the process of this investigation? What's gone right, or what could be improved?
Wow. A lot has gone right. I mean, I think we're making progress here. That video is key. If I had anything to share with the community is, think back to the cases we've seen. Isabella Celis, Gary Triano, even Gabby Giffords. And that wasn't a whodunit. We had the guy. Those cases take a lot of time and effort and energy. There's a lot of manpower put into this for a reason, because we had somebody in our community taken out of her home in the middle of the night. Isabella Celis, same thing. Maribela Gonzalez, same thing. All of these people, I wish we could solve them in a day. I wish I could tell you in the next hour we're going to have somebody arrested, or the next week, or the next month, maybe the next year. I don't know that. What I do know is we are working 24/7. That room over there is working 24/7. FBI 24/7. We're not stopping. We won't quit. We will find him. We will find her.